Well, there go all my theories for WandaVision. How are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Same as every week.
Welcome to episode 6, Fake Nerds Watch of WandaVision. I'm Brandon T. McClure. With me, as always, is Ben Magnet.
Yo, so also my theories got yeeted out the window every time a new episode comes out.
Sparks Witty.
I'm confused. I don't know what theories got yeeted. I guess I'm going to have to refresh my brain.
And Ryan Eliopoulos.
There's too many theories, so some of them got yeeted and some of them are still right there.
Every episode of WandaVision is a wonderful minefield of new information and new theories. And this week, genuinely, I got nothing. I don't know what to think anymore.
I got nothing either. I'm sure the whole time I'm thinking, like, is it Mephisto? Where's the Mephisto mention? And then there's no Mephisto mention. And then I was like,
in this episode's defense of a Mephisto reference, there is another reference to the devil from Pietro.
Yeah. He calls the children devil spawn.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they are.
So, I love the show. So this week, I just don't know what to think. So what do we think about this one? Excuse me. Still have a cough. I'll mute myself.
Well, as a fan of so they skipped the 90s in a way, which I found interesting.
I thought this was the 90s episode.
No, because this is Malcolm in the Middle, baby.
Yeah, isn't that 90s or is that very early 2000s?
No, this is 2000s. Like there was like it's definitely. I'm pretty sure it's 2000s. Yeah.
Well, the 80s episode. A lot of those sitcoms in the 80s that it was parodying made it into the 90s as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think they were kind of like, well, once you get to the Full House era, it becomes like, well, 80s, 90s, 90s, 2000s, and then they're kind of like merging eras now.
The Lapjack's gone.
Yeah, it's a mismatch of decades because by that time, especially the 90s and early 2000s, those sitcoms were kind of like one and the same.
But I loved when he turns to the camera and starts talking like Malcolm in the Middle. I'm like, hell yeah, here we go.
Yeah, again, the progression of this show from episode 1 of being about, Wanda and Vision, now like half, like a third of the Young Avengers are the star of this episode. I'm like, man, that's wild. Like just having like this Billy and Tommy, it's like, again, like turning to the camera, like the wacky music, having the crazy brother. I definitely didn't think Pietro was going to be in this whole episode at all. Yeah. That was a spin. Oh man, you guys don't hear what's going on right here?
I hear it now. Now that he's got the weed blower.
Yeah, we got gardening going on. So we're gonna ignore that for a second.
It's fine. It's quiet.
Okay. Yeah. I still think the episode's really good. I found it. This was like my favorite episode, but also it has my least favorite stuff, specifically with some of the human stuff. Excuse me, like the shield stuff, the sword stuff. But like now that we are in like more modern times and we're past like the ha-ha sitcom stuff, the drama is kind of more real where people have problems but they kind of just like wave it over. It's not like the last episode where it's like a huge thing. It's like Vision says something to Wanda, but like a real relationship, they just like, oh, we'll just forget about it. Like it feels a little more like a real relationship, and then the kids are involved, and like the show keeps evolving in a way where, like, again, Brandon, I'm kind of with you. Like I don't know what to expect anymore. I'm not sure where it's going. I think it was specifically focusing on the kids this episode, so maybe the Wanda stuff isn't as important. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, I think specifically where my thing is, this episode made me doubt my theory that Wanda is not the reason for everything happening. And I'm sure the episode wants you to, but now I'm not as sure that Wanda is not the cause of what's happening in Westview. Ben?
Wait. Say that one more time, Brandon. I don't know. So you're saying that you think Wanda is the cause of what's happening?
No, for weeks, we've been talking about how we're sure it's like Agnes did it. We've been on the Agnes train since before the show started.
Yeah, I don't think Agnes is Agatha anymore.
I still do because I'm stubborn. Okay. But go ahead.
I think Agnes was faking that whole thing there.
Yeah, could be.
It's possible, yeah.
But now, especially with her talk about with Pietro, quote unquote, Pietro Maximoff, especially how she's interrogating him, and how he talks about how he was dead. How this is Pietro with a different face. This is her Pietro with a different face, because everything lines up with the exception of the face.
Right.
I'm now not as sure that Wanda was not consciously aware of the fact that she created Westview in the sitcom situation. I'm not willing to die on any hill at this point. So that's just kind of where I got from this episode.
So we've been, again, like the big speculation has been Mephisto, maybe Master Pandemonium, who's like another like a villain that he's dealt with. Multiple times the word nightmare is used in this episode. Nightmare is also a villain who runs the nightmare realm, and he's another character who maybe not as strong as Mephisto, can also be a sizable villain that can lead into another movie where Mephisto could be, or Nightmare could be a sufficient villain. He's a kind of more like a more like 70s, 80s villain, but he's definitely someone who can give Wanda, like she said herself, like she was like lost by herself, and then she just like awoke and all this stuff happened. Like I think Nightmare maybe spoke to her because like she was living in a nightmare, a living nightmare.
Yeah, but she even says I don't know how I'm capable of doing this to Pietro. Like she says that like I'm doing it, I don't know how though.
Yeah.
That's not what she said. I'm sorry. I need to be specific. She didn't say I'm doing it. She says I don't know how. She says I don't know how I made this happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sentence. I don't know how I made this happen.
No, I know
Wanda
that. I'm just
Wanda has
speculating.
yet to admit that she did this.
See, I took that as her admitting that she's done this.
This is why I'm like none of my theories really changed. I still stand by. I think everything's still valid. I think Megan had a really good point. Pietro's not a mistake. The face change isn't a mistake. That not saying that this is her idea, and I actually think it's a good point. She swapped faces on Pietro. That's not Pietro to start with. First off, that's no version of her brother. That is. Let's call him Mephisto. That's Mephisto, or whatever. And it's
his wording and stuff was a little
Evan
weird.
Peters' face because it's trying to convince Wanda she's doing this. Because the whole time what it's there is antagonizing her and asking her, so where were the kids? How'd you do this? Come on, talk to me about it. If Wanda has become aware of this just a couple episodes ago, like we hypothesized a few episodes ago that she only started to be aware of what's going on partway in, then this is the entity trying to convince Wanda, this is you're doing it. Trying to reinforce that concept. And you explain to me how you screwed this up. Yeah. And I have a different face because you're the one in control, Wanda.
Because he I guess, yeah.
You didn't want to see your real brother's face. I understand.
For some reason, whatever entity is helping her doesn't want to be like known or seen. It's like the silent partner in a way. Because like, hey, you made a deal with the devil. You just gotta live in it. You gotta live in the world you built. So like, you explain to me why things are different. It's not my fault. Like, I'm just the devil. Like, I just think also we need more details. I think this was a pretty light episode in terms of like big mystery stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was just mostly a fun episode about Halloween, which is great.
The Halloween stuff was good. I also agree with Brandon's thing earlier about how the sword stuff was. I mean, it was still good, but it wasn't as good as I felt like.
They said it. I didn't. I like the sword stuff a lot, actually.
Oh
no, I still liked it, but like this was my first complaint that I've had for the show. When at the very end with the stuff with the trio getting back into the sword base and them doing the stupid hacking, which, it's always fake hacking. And she's like, I got to get past the third firewall. This is such a strong firewall. I got to hack it some more. I got to hack the net. That's when it turned into a generic Marvel movie for me. It's not bad. It's just, this is the first time I was like, okay, this needed to happen. But like, I've kind of like, yep, that's the generic stuff for me. Like it felt like,
I
turned into a generic villain to me. Yeah.
I don't disagree necessarily, but I also don't agree because I do really like the stuff with Darcy and Jimmy and Monica. I really liked that Jimmy is able to hold his own in a fight. I thought that was a fun reveal. I like their interplay, and I'm so curious what's going to happen to Darcy, how she's going to be changed by the Westview anomaly.
She's gonna work at a diner.
Yeah, she's gonna be some nice. Hey, it's me.
She's gonna be two broke girls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. Oh my God, they're gonna make her do it again.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, yeah, like, whoa, but she's like in her 70s. No, they're in the modern times again. Oh my god, she's gonna work at a diner.
Yeah,
That's gonna be great.
Because the next episode will probably be a more modern sitcom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Or maybe they could do. Isn't one of the episodes gonna be like a parody of The Office?
Probably the next one.
Probably maybe the next one. Yeah.
From the
they got
trailer, it looked more like Modern Family, but in that kind of like we're talking to the audience type thing.
Yeah.
Modern Family.
I suspect that the next one is the last
regular like TV one.
TV thing. Yeah. Because after that, we know that they've said like the last 2 episodes are like one big thing.
That's the
like
Marvel
they put a whole
movie.
bunch of that they put a whole bunch of money into and everything, and so like I think that the gimmick of the television shows more or less falls apart after the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Going back to Agnes real quick. I only watched it once, unfortunately, but I still feel she's a part of this somehow. Like either she was going to leave or she was doing something.
She wants Vision to step out.
Yeah, and again, like she's trying to get Vision against Wanda. So yeah, like she's basically she plants herself there, knowing Vision was going to be there.
Agnes has been the cause of every time that Vision has started to suspect things are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one talking to Herb that put him on edge about Monica. She was the one who made it weird in the room, and he was the only one who noticed, and Wanda didn't.
The babies.
All throughout that whole section, and now she's the one.
She was just screaming dead at him.
Really important. Yeah. Really importantly, she is the only person who, in her catatonic state, was able to still mildly converse with Vision.
Yeah.
So I think that's a bunch of horse shit.
Yeah.
And I think she just knew Vision would try the thing to pull her out of it. She's pretending.
Mm-hmm.
Agnes is full of crap.
Yes.
Because she wanted Vision to walk out, and I guess like the easiest theory is that she wanted Vision to walk out so Wanda would expand the boundary.
Yeah, more control for the entity that's helping them, I guess, or something.
That's
But
actually
they can't control anybody past a certain point. Everyone kind of like freezes if they're not like as you go further out. Everyone just kind of like stops being.
Man, but like maybe that horrific scene.
But expanding the boundary took out Sword.
Yeah,
Sword was right on the boundary. And now they're not an issue.
Now,
more or less. I know Hayward and Monica and Jimmy are still out there, but
of course, the speculation Vision. Like when Wanda uses her powers to expand the thing, and her eyes go like big and flamey, people are speculating like that's her channeling whatever demon is helping her or whatever to use more power that she doesn't initially have. I could buy that. I could also see, she's just really powerful and she's just using more power. It could be both.
I think no matter what, the intention is that this is Wanda's power, and she is more powerful than we had anticipated her being up until this point.
I think never let her do anything.
Yeah, I think at the end of this, we will just have a better idea of just how powerful Wanda was meant to be.
And I think because she is like a big figure in the comics, I think they do want to elevate her up more. So the fact that she is also in Doctor Strange, I think she is going to be a core Avengers member, like for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Now here's the question: Vision trying to escape the barrier. He can't escape because he'd just be dead. Right? So
I've theorized about that. I often wondered if he leaves, why didn't he just break apart into the pieces that we saw him? Why is he being pulled back piece by piece? I think that he is trapped more. I think he's trapped in a way that everyone else isn't.
Like a spell or something. Like a spell from a witch.
But I don't necessarily think he's dead if he leaves. I think he could theoretically be let loose to leave, and he'd be alive.
Yeah,
I think the reason why when Vision is like having such a hard time trying to escape the barrier, and the barrier essentially like spread out farther to try to keep him contained or somewhat alive, is because Wanda. The sole reason Wanda did this did the Westfield anomaly is to bring Vision back to life. As long as Vision's within those boundaries, he's fine. Second he steps out, that's like lights out.
I understand that. I only push back in the sense that, like, if he leaves the boundary, how come he's not turning into that zombie that we know he looks like?
Yeah.
Why doesn't the hole appear in his head again? Why doesn't the pieces fall off of him? Why is he being ripped apart and ripped back prominently?
I think he might be like part of the the deal with Westview. It's not just Westview a town; it's Vision's a part of it. So like as the further he gets, Westview trying to rubber band him and pull him back, and that's destroying him as it does it. So like maybe he would be ripped apart a billion pieces, but be reformed in the town. Of course, that's an idea. Yeah,
I think he can. I don't think he can leave the anomaly. But I do think that if he did, he'd still be alive. I think this is just something that he's trying. The anomaly is trying to keep him forcefully, but he could theoretically leave and be alive. And that could just be wishful thinking that I just want Vision to be alive again. But that's my
that is my question. Does Vision come out of this alive? And like honestly. Like wishful thinking. Of course, I would love Vision to be back, but like this is a strong arc, and like this whole show is supposed to be about Wanda getting over her grief and dealing with her grief, and like it's almost just like a wash of it. Like, oh, you handle your grief, your husband's back. I think it would be more powerful if Vision stayed dead after this show ended.
Yeah,
that's just emotional. I like emotional shit.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting how Pietro talks about some of his memories aren't exactly the same that Wanda had, probably because they've been sitcomized or whatever. And he talks about how I died in the street like a chump. And then I heard you calling me and I came. Yeah. Really like driving home that whatever face this has, this is her brother. This was her brother, at least.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I think
you could disagree.
Yeah, I am disagreeing.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced because like the of course it's also just part of a sitcom. But just like the way Pietro was talking and the phrasing he was using, even calling the kids demon spawn, it felt very maneuvered, like trying to get Wanda to talk about specific things or make her say specific things, like you were saying, like oh yeah, like why are you doing this, and like why are you changing
where
things?
did the kids come from?
Where did the kids come from? Yeah, this isn't me. Like,
so they were sleeping in their homes, right?
Yeah.
I think the biggest one for me that's like, okay, so that's not her brother, is when he says, "Don't worry, sis. It's not like your dead husband can die twice."
Yeah, when obviously he literally died twice in the same movie in Infinity War.
So
he's died multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main reason that I don't feel
like another creepy shot of kind of like Vision from, I want to say, episode 4 with the hole in his head. We get Evan Peters Pietro with the bullet wounds.
Yeah.
We're speaking of which, when they did the last time previously on WandaVision and Evan Peters showed up and they had that scene from Age of Ultron, I like that.
Yeah, I'm still convinced Aaron Taylor Johnson's showing up somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, one of my favorite things that Star Trek Discovery did in season 2 was they said last time on Star Trek, and they showed a clip from the pilot of Star Trek, the original series, that led into an episode of Discovery. That's my favorite show.
Was that with Pike?
That was with Pike. Yeah, if you have a long franchise and you're going to be referencing something from a prior installment in that franchise, hell yeah, show me a clip from that franchise. That's my favorite show. I think more people should do that.
Yeah, totally should.
Yeah, I don't think that is her brother. I think it's just supplanted with, the just knowing the knowledge of their history. But yeah, like the whole attitude about it is off. It doesn't line up with the Pietro of Ultron.
Like he definitely is. He seems like he's like shepherding the kids in a way. He's like he's even teaching Tommy how to use his powers and stuff. And that's just really cool seeing the kids get their powers. I'm like, I didn't expect that to happen so early.
Tommy Tommy does get in the comics. Does he keep the speed power or no?
Yeah, he's speed, and then Billy's Wiccan, which is basically Scarlet Witch Man. Yeah,
gotcha. All right,
Scarlet Wizard.
Yeah.
I just wanted to double check because I mean, when he started running around like a Quicksilver, I was like, okay, I don't know if that's comic because I don't really know these characters very much. Yep, there they are. There they are.
Yeah, we read Children's Crusade.
Yeah,
ones where they were heavily featured in.
Oh yeah,
we read that for book club once.
We did.
I don't remember that. Not really any of my theories about Agnes or Wanda changed in this episode, but I do have not really a new theory, but like I am far more suspicious about Hayward.
I'm more suspicious of Herb.
Herb?
Yeah, because he was Frankenstein man. He's like, Wanda, do you want me to change everything? Is everything all right?
Oh no, I think that's still just like the thing itself, letting him say, like making him say something like that.
Okay.
Because again, like I think that's the thing is that it's trying to trick Wanda at this point into
Gotcha.
thinking you are.
It's just using the town,
right? Because if you think about like Wanda continues to be like, I can't be doing this. I'm confused about how I did this or how this started or all that kind of stuff, and it's trying to tell her, yeah, this is you, because it doesn't really want her. I don't think if she made a deal, which I no longer think is true.
Yeah.
Then she doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
So I think this is being done to her, but she has to believe that it's her.
Okay, yeah. It's the ultimate gaslight.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah. And that's why I think Evan Peters' face Pietro is all part of. But now I am much more suspicious of Hayward after this episode because like they put a big spotlight on it. Oh, there's something really important behind this firewall. Darcy figures it out. You sneaky bastard, and then immediately gets sucked into the thing before anyone can find out what it is. So now Darcy's very important to figuring out what Hayward was doing.
She found something called Project Cataracts and some sleuths on the internet. If you see the Vision and Quicksilver, like when you see like their dead versions, they basically have like cataract eyes. And that could be something that Sword's doing. That could be something Hayward's involved with the bad shit.
I had a question after a couple episodes that I always forgot to bring up. Why did Sword have Vision's body? Why wasn't it in the Avengers compound? Why did Sword have it?
Yeah, one of the other major theories that this isn't actually Sword. It's like a cover up for AIM or some other organization. But like I think they can't do that again when they just did Hydra.
No, this is real Sword because they're not going to be like, that Maria established.
No, yeah,
was
that's
bullshit.
what I mean. No, yeah. They went to Sword's headquarters. Like, yeah.
I to answer Brandon's question though, Vision's body probably would have been grabbed in the 5 years by Sword before the Avengers did anything. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, because it would have been in the compound for the 5 years.
Yeah.
Possibly.
So my question becomes, what was Sword doing with Vision's body? Why did they have it? Because he says, Wanda made Vision into a weapon. What if he was trying to turn Vision's body into a weapon? And that's why he had it.
Right.
Because
I don't understand why the Avengers weren't just like, okay, he's one of ours, we're keeping him.
Yeah, put him in a burial or something. Who knows? Maybe Sword thought that maybe they could find a way to bring him back. I don't know.
It's weird because like
I don't think it's that altruistic.
In the earlier episodes, Hayward even mentioned Vision's will and how like Wanda didn't want Wanda to bring him back to life, or he wanted to be kept dead or whatever. So like it's weird that Sword does have it. I wonder if there's like a deal that they made with the Avengers that we don't know about.
He talks about something that I find really interesting, where you people who were blipped don't know what it was like. You don't know what we had to deal with after you were gone. You can come back and be hopeful again. We don't have that luxury. So he may have been a nice guy at one point, but now he has been twisted because of what happened in those 5 years.
Yeah. Tragedy hardens a man. Absolutely.
Yeah. So whatever whatever he turned Sword into is not what Maria Rambeau wanted it to be.
All the stuff he said about Maria Rambeau was like, oh, you dick.
Oh yeah, mentioning like stuff with like her mom and stuff like that's just personal for no reason. You're just like,
that's like, oh, you're definitely a bad guy now. I really don't like you anymore.
Yeah, I doubt he's tied to the bigger picture bad guy stuff, but I think he's just a real shitty government man.
Yeah, I think Director Hayward, he's not. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not like one, because one of the guys at work who also watches the show and comes to me for advice, which I pretty much tell what you guys say because you guys have much better insight than I do about the show. Because at first he's like, "Oh, Hayward's gonna be the guy." I was like, no, because if Hayward's Mephisto, why would he be outside of his own hex?
Well, it's not just that. I just think that Hayward. I think Hayward's a dick. I don't think he's a bad guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like I just feel like he was doing something.
He's an antagonist towards Monica, but he's not a bad guy. He's doing his.
Actually, no.
He had Vision's body for some reason, and Wanda might have found out, and that's why she goes and attacks because they weren't supposed to have Vision's body. There could be that.
Yeah, I would say Hayward is a bad guy. He's not the bad guy.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
I just think he's a dick.
I think Hayward's a little more than a dick because they find out in this episode that he knew how to track Vision.
Mm-hmm.
and get a head count from inside, and he didn't share that with anyone.
Oh, that's true.
And then they also have the whole lead up of Darcy finding something behind his firewall that we don't get to see.
You know what? I think Hayward actually, he might be working for some other organization because like he does have all that encrypted shit. And like, why would he be hiding important stuff if he's actually part of SWORD?
Yeah, like I don't think he's tied to the Mephisto stuff, but I definitely think he has more of an agenda than he's just a jaded dick. I think it's a little more than that.
Yeah. And I called him a nice guy in the first episode. How dare
Yeah, so we all believed it. That mother F.
I mean, listen,
I don't think it's Hydra.
No, I just want to say Hydra. If I had to guess, it's probably AIM.
I really hope it's AIM because like we need another dope organization full of scientists with bee helmets. We need them. We need them back. I need them.
What? So Killian lost control of AIM and it became something else?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Justin Hammer's involved. Bring him back. Bring them all back.
Ooh, Justin Hammer shows up in Armored Up. We all want.
I mean, Iron Man and AIM go hand in hand. Like, oh yeah.
I was gonna say bring Justin Hammer back in Armor Wars, but we've been saying that for weeks ever since we heard the announcement.
Baby, just wait. It's gonna happen. Just wait. Just waiting for it. What else happened in this episode?
So Vision. Oh, okay. One of the things I want to talk about earlier that we didn't get to. I love when Vision explores the town and you see the lady who's putting up the Halloween decoration, but it's going back and forth like she's an animatronic at Disneyland. And then he's looking at she's crying, and you're looking at all the other people on the far edge of town where you can't go past Ellis Avenue. And it's just, these poor souls are just stuck in this monotonous time loop to act as extras as the main characters go by.
It definitely creates a limitation to, I'll say Wanda's because that's still my thing, whatever.
Yeah.
It definitely creates a limitation to Wanda's abilities that she can't control the whole town. The town is too big for her to control.
Yeah.
I guess I do need to amend my theory a little and say, like, I do think that like this is Wanda's power being used. I just don't think it's Wanda who did this or is actively and consciously doing it
with somebody.
Yeah.
Like a guy behind the scenes, like Wizard of Oz. Like, I don't want you to know that I'm here. This is all you. But I'm gonna steal your babies, Rumpelstiltskin.
Right. Rumpelstiltskin because bad guys. Robert Carlyle.
Robert Carlyle as Mephisto wouldn't be too bad.
No,
actually, that wouldn't be bad at all.
That would be awesome casting because Robert Carlyle can play a badass villain.
He's got a really good sinister smile.
Well, because he was Durza and Aragon, and of course Rumpelstiltskin once upon a time. So he's pretty damn. He was also a Bond villain too. Holy shit, that guy plays a lot of bad guys.
He bad.
Has he ever been
he was in Star Trek Universe, Stargate Universe.
Stargate Universe, yes.
There you go.
All the stuff
He's
I've ever
also
seen.
in the Full Monty.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah, all the stuff I've ever seen Robert Carlyle in he's either been a bad guy, an anti-hero, or a straight up villain.
The theme song was cute. It was like a Family Ties. It was cute. I just like those kids, man. And I know those kids are gonna get probably like aged up so they could be closer to like Haley Steinfeld and Catherine Newton's age. But like maybe just have them be like 12 years old and they grow into being teenagers. Because like I could use more of those kids. I think they're
I really liked the kids. I thought the kid actors were very good.
Yeah, I think that chemistry together.
I like the kids. I really enjoyed Evan Peters as Pietro, but also every time he would talk, like, "Oh yeah, Delspawn and your dead husband can't die twice." I'm like, "Oh, who are you?"
I think that's just like a pawn in some way.
We have definitely talked about how good Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are in this. Evan Peters slides into this role like butter. He's so good.
He does.
He's a super charismatic guy.
As much as I love having Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany
Where's your accent? Where's yours?
Good line. But as much as I love those two on screen, I was really rooting for Detective Vision.
Yeah.
Because even when because you can tell that there's a strain between him and Wanda. Like, I mean, obviously, I want to say it was Billy who went to the camera and did Mom and Dad, they're not fighting, but they're not fighting. And then, of course, when Vision leaves, he says, "Be good." Oops, sorry. He points to Wanda, and Wanda's like, "What do you mean, be good?" Of course, I'm good.
Paul Bettany does a great job in that opening of, like, kind of burying the lead that, like, he's aware, and he's trying to test Wanda, because Wanda's like, "No, you're not supposed to." And he's like, "I'm sorry, what?" And she's like, I just didn't know you were going to the neighbor watch. And he's like, oh, yeah, I am. And he like immediately jumps back into like the family man role quickly.
That's what I mean. Like it feels almost like a more like familiar setting of like the adults are bickering, but like have to like appease the kids. And like it without the laugh track, it just feels so much more natural, like a real family. And I'm like, it feels even a little more like natural and less sinister.
Sorry, Ryan. Finish?
That was it. Yeah.
No, one of the other lines I loved is when Wanda goes to Vision, she's like, "This is the kid's first Halloween. You can't miss it." I'm like, "How to?" Oh, that's right. They aged out. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
because it technically is their first Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, also it's not Halloween.
Technically, not even their Halloween.
It's not even their Halloween. You're right.
It's an episode of the sitcom.
Also, no kids existed. And then all the only kids exist now.
Very true. Also, another fun fact: I love how they brought out the classic costumes and they called him a Sokovian fortune teller and a luchador. I thought that was awesome.
I know a lot of people don't like it. I've seen a lot of people dislike this, but I've always liked it when the MCU does the original costumes like faithfully and be like, this was the such and such costume, and then we'll get the good one.
And it's ever only in like homage too. Like it's always for fun. Like Luke Cage did and Captain America. Like literally every character does it. Where it's like, hey, this is what it like. There's like the shitty looking version from 60 years ago. Like,
and she looked great.
Yeah, it's like it's a cute costume. Yeah.
Even when. Oh.
No, go ahead.
No, it was even Quicksilver's costume. With the lightning bolt and his hair doing the thing. I was like.
When they both came with the hair, and I'm like, "You sons of bitches! This is so good." I can't. That's like what Wolverine should look like super dumb. And I'm like, thanks for committing to it.
Yeah. They are.
I like the cheeky kick-ass line. Mm-hmm. That was funny.
Yeah, because they both were in Kick-Ass. Both have
Aaron Taylor Johnson and Evan Peters both in Kick-Ass.
It's true, all of it.
Yeah, I thought that was one I had to. That's one of the few times I was like, "So Zara, let me tell you what this means."
Actually, I missed that. I missed that line.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time known that both Quicksilvers were starred in the Kick-Ass movie together, so this was a fun little nod to that.
Oh, yeah, I missed that. I only saw the episode once, so I can definitely watch it again. That's fine.
I thought Catherine Hahn was great in her one scene.
Always. She was wearing a witch costume, which of course she was because she's a witch.
Because she's wicked. She's lying. She's full of crap.
She does the best like witch cackle when she's driving away.
Agnes is the bad guy. No, it's right before she drives.
Okay, it's right before she drives. Yeah,
but I know what you're talking
about.
Bye,
neighbor.
Oakley dokley, neighbor.
She is so good in this show. Holy shit.
Yeah,
she's very good.
Agnes is the bad thing for real. Yeah.
Theoretically,
guys want to talk about Yo Magic?
Yeah. What the hell was that from?
This is the first time I didn't understand it.
Yeah. This is the first time that it wasn't a reference to anything. I think what it was so the shark gives this boy some food, but the food he can't eat it, so he dies. So I think this is like somebody making a deal with Wanda, and she thinks she's gonna get fed, but she actually ends up dying in the end. Or like it's a bad deal. Someone's making a bad deal. And I think that's what this is about.
So
I've seen
very, very Watchmen, a Black Freighter-esque where it's mirroring.
I've seen people talk about it potentially being a like indicator of Mephisto's plan to suck everything out of the children.
Mm-hmm.
I've also seen people say it's also a nod towards back to Wanda and Pietro starving and lying in wait with the missile.
Yeah, that could be it. Sure.
And I think all those things can be read into it and are valid. It's certainly not. It's not as direct.
Yes.
So I thought the Yo Magic was a metaphor for your magic, for Wanda's magic, because the tagline was like, use it for your or do it for something for your survival. The last part when they said survival is like, hey Wanda, you have to use your magic in order to survive this. Like
they said, it's called the treat for survivors. And that's what really highlights like the idea of Wanda as a survivor.
I wonder if much like what's the Dragon Ball Z villain in the Majin Buu saga that absorbs energy and he fights somebody?
Yakon,
that guy. What if like the entity needs like feed off like Wanda's like reality warping powers, and she has like almost kind of like the Hulk unlimited amounts of it. She just doesn't know how to use it. So like he's slowly trying to just feast more and more and more off of her. He's like, yo, give me your magic, and you're slowly gonna like not get any better, but I'm gonna get more powerful.
I see what you're saying, right? So if he overloads her, she'll die if she gives all of it over.
Well, I'm not even I'm not even saying like to death, but like just like keep giving me stuff until like you're drained, or
Right.
even till death. Yeah. Because like again, like her power is potentially infinite.
What a weird kids commercial.
That was.
Yeah, like
it was very 90s, but that was very scary.
Because we also have the starvation one for Wanda and Pietro comes from there's also the flashback about their destitute Halloween upbringing, in which Pietro is a young classic Nick Fury.
Oh,
Halloween.
Right. Yeah. Oh Lord.
Speaking of Halloween costumes, when Fanny actually just texted me this, and she was very curious about what Billy's costume was, because Tommy was a young Quicksilver.
No.
What?
Billy is Wiccan, the superhero he becomes, and Tommy is Speed, the superhero he becomes.
Yeah, Tommy's not being young Quicksilver. He's being Speed.
They are the superheroes.
All right, because
Look,
I see.
Their outfits are matching. That's the idea.
Because when Fanny was watching the because once again, when we were watching the episode, we don't know about Tommy and Billy, so she thought that Billy was supposed to be.
You read a comic.
I don't remember the comic. Okay, Jesus.
Don't worry, I'll make another one a book club.
I don't remember it. Just give me some.
Okay. You really liked it. Okay. It's really interesting because you really liked it. You're like, I love this. I want to read more of this era.
I don't know why I can't remember it. But
don't worry. I'll bring more Alan Heinberg into your life.
I think genuinely, like, we went away from it, and Ben was like, "Man, that was a really good book. It was cool that Quicksilver was in it."
Why did it look so young?
I think Children's Crusade is ending up being more of a influence on the show than House of M.
Slowly, yeah. Well, I mean, man, it's like, again, it's like I'm so excited that they're really just like going in on the Young Avengers. Like, it makes me so happy. Like, I'm not expecting anything like an announcement anytime soon, but like all these characters are there, and these characters, like, by the end of the show might be a little bit older, or just hopefully again stay the same age, and they can just grow up in a couple years because they'll be eventually 15, 16 like the characters would be. It's really cool. Again, this episode wasn't like the most like mystery heavy, but like it was a fun family episode, focusing on the kids who I think they're putting a lot of chips on for the future.
Yeah, I'm now more certain than ever that the reason why Feige didn't announce an Avengers movie is because it's called Young Avengers.
God, that's the dream. Either Young Avengers or New Avengers. Either way, like something different and cool is going to happen. And
I think that there's a reason, especially now we going back to the people who said that Wiccan and Speed aren't going to show up in this show. I think now more than ever, you got to realize that it is the Young Avengers are heavily featured in most of Phase 4.
Yeah,
and there's a reason.
That's just really, really cool. Like, it's like I'm a Marvel fan, but I don't care. It's really nice. Like sometimes you get fed real nicely. You get some big feast every now and then, and this is one of those times.
And you get some nice young characters to carry the franchise for a while.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's again something that the comics can't do. Wiccan's a relatively new character. He's only like 11 years old at this point. But like with the movies, that character can actually age up in time, and in 10 years he'll be a young adult, and he can be an adult on the Avengers. And it's like that's something only movies can give you. And like it's really cool that we're at that time when movies and comics can intersect like that. Yeah.
I can see now where we're at in the show. I can definitely see a version where we don't get James Spader back. We don't see Ultron, and I'm like, it's a bummer, but all right.
Yeah.
I still think there's room for Aaron Taylor Johnson, but I agree. I don't think that's room
absolutely. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson's almost a must.
Yeah.
For Wanda, I think that'll have to happen.
Yep.
Okay, so that'll do it. So stay tuned for the next episode. We'll probably try and get it out a little quicker. We'll see. Well, until next time, of course, you can find us on Fake Nerd Podcast on all social medias, fakenerdpodcast.com. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. We greatly appreciate all of your support. There's plenty of other shows on this channel. You can find, of course, this, and you can go back to the back catalog if you're watching some shows during quarantine, or, got some cool stuff on here. Or you can check out our Fake Nerd Book Club series where we're doing a little Char and the Gang. Lil Char in the gang. Yeah.
Well,
A Pokemon parody webtoon, which we're doing on the Fake Nerd Book Club. Check that series out right now. Of course, check out our other Fake Nerd Book Club series, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Wasted Space. You can also check out our Basement Arcade series, which is our Let's Play series. We have a lot of episodes of Sonic on that. And,
how dare you bring it up?
That's true.
It's been 13 years in Azkaban.
And of course, the Basement Arcade Pause Menu, a new spinoff there, which is a video and an audio. So check out those. Of course, you can find us on Patreon and TeePublic. All those links are probably in the description below. I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Ben?
You can find me loving every second of WandaVision, but still going like, well, there goes that idea I thought I had at Ben Magnet 27 on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, I saw you liked my idea of like my gif of the Lion King blooper, where it's just like every week on WandaVision, my theories. Whoop! Sparks.
You can find me still convinced that Wanda's not solely responsible for this at Sparks Witty on Instagram and Twitter, SPARKZ Witty.
Ryan.
You can find me, DJ Tony Snark, everywhere.
Heard a cat purr on that one. Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh. There it is.
All right. Until next time, guys. Sure. Stay fake nerds.
Flourish.